Hey guys, welcome to another Subscribers Draw My Nails, and this one is a Halloween edition. So happy October 1st. So today I'm going to be doing 2 more sets of nails that you guys designed. If you're new here, this is where I give you guys a picture of my hand essentially, and I ask you guys to draw me a nail design, and then I try to recreate it to the best of my ability in real life. If you want to participate in future videos, watch out on my community tab here on YouTube and also my Instagram, because that's where I post my templates. I do a new one each time because I like to do different themes and just kind of keep it fresh. Before we get into the 2 sets of nails that I did choose, I'm going to give a couple shout outs to some nails that I really loved. There were so many good ones. I think this time I got about 300 submissions, and when I went back favoriting all of the ones I liked, I favorited I think about a third of them that I wanted to potentially do. I do want to say that this isn't going to be the only Subscribers Draw My Nails video this month. I'm going to be doing 2. Next one will be posted on the 30th. And I will be using these same submissions, so if yours isn't in this video, it might be in the next one, or in one of my other videos this month. You'll just have to see. Also, I just wanted to make sure to put a reminder that if you recreate any of these sets that I've shown on the screen, please make sure to credit that person as they have designed that set. Of course, tag me because I'll want to see it, but please make sure to credit that person for their design. These are art essentially. I want to make sure the credit gets to the proper people. This one by Art by Lila is so cute. I love the pink, the black. It's a very like mysterious, dreamy design. I really loved it. Next up is this one by Ashley. I really like this one. It is so well drawn. I didn't think I would be able to really do the skeleton just that small. I don't think I'm quite capable of that. I wish I could just like print these out and like stick them on my nails as stickers. It's a really good set. It has 5 different designs but very cohesive. Next up, this aquarium set by Cupcake Killer 91. I appreciate the faith you have in me for being able to do that. I love the idea on this. I just don't think I can execute it very well right now, but I love the whole concept. There were quite a few Scream designs, which I was actually a little surprised about. Tons of ghost face, which I really loved. There were so many good ones. As you guys can see, a couple of you had similar ideas, like these 2 that you'll see with the witch's hat on the pinky. I thought that was so funny. But after doing my husband's set of nails, I needed a slight break from such extreme sculpting out of polygel. The one set I created out of his idea took easily over 10 hours. So I didn't know if I would be able to really put my heart into sculpting these sets like they needed. And this last one that I thought was super cool, it was a little bit different than a lot of the other designs that focused less on like spookiness and more of changing of season and things in nature around this time, which I really loved. So now let's get on to the first design that I'm gonna do. So this one by 3 Spook 5 U Doodles, and they also wanted to say that they make stickers, was the first one that I chose, and I loved it for multiple different reasons. This one was one of the only ones that I thought might actually be a little truly, I guess, disturbing. Some people might not like it. What is it? The I can't say it. But this one just looked so exciting for me. Also loved that there was a ring in addition to this one. So I had lots to do and I was excited to make a bunch of these little eyes. So this is the first one that I am doing. So let's get into these nails. Okay, so normally I would start off with my, protective base coat already on, but I have filed down most of the gel that was already on my nails. And I'm going to use this shade of the Après Extend Gel because I don't want my nails to look, crusty dusty for the clear we're going to be putting on them for our first set. So I'm going to use this as my base layer and sort of a shield to cover up the actual color of my nail and make it this actual, I don't know, it's like a light nude kind of color. The Après Extend Gel is pretty much what I always use as a protective base coat. I like it because it can soak off, which I really like. That way you don't have to file all the way down. I try to file down to this layer and then I will soak off from there to try to not, damage my nails any more than they already are. Okay, there we go. See, all nice, shiny, one color, not looking crusty dusty anymore. For our tips today, we're gonna use these pump ups from Macart. These are the extra large full cover tips. And I'm going to attach these with just a clear gel. So I'll just use my gross looking bottle of clear extend gel, and then I will use the Gel X Prep to prep the tips. So for these nails, they pretty much just look like all of the decoration is going to be on the top. So we're basically just going to put a clear set on and decorate the top. I think that will look best. Since we also have some 3D art on them, I don't want to make them too bulky. So I'm going to try to really just make sure I'm putting this everywhere that it needs to go. And then I'm also going to try to be a little conservative with the gel itself because I don't want it to flood a ton. I want these nails to look like really nice, perfectly clear and not have like air bubbles or a bunch of squeezed out gel that you can see underneath. Okay, so there we go. All right, and that is stuck on really nicely. So I'm just going to do that for the rest of them. Shaping some of these a little bit to fit my cuticle shape a little bit better. All right, last one before we can actually get on to the fun stuff. And we have our base. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of filing just to make sure that these are nice and pointy and don't have that little lip on them at the end. All right, so I'm just going to lightly buff the top so you can make sure the gel sticks to it. Not much, we don't want to mess up any clarity of the nail. Okay, so on their picture, they said to use a toothpick for the red, so that's what we're gonna do. I got some toothpicks. I don't think I've ever used a toothpick before. It's a good idea though, with how like small the point is. So to do this, I have two reds actually that I was gonna choose between, and I'm trying to see which one is darker. I don't know. These look pretty similar to me. I think we're gonna go with this one. So the technique I'm gonna try first is to put a base coat on the nail, and I'm not going to cure it before I do the red. That way we can sort of like drag the lines through it. While I was grabbing my toothpicks, I just grabbed a little muffin tin to use as a palette today. There we go. And then I think we would just like pull it through like this. So this method definitely does make it feather out a little bit, which I kind of like because anytime I've ever seen blood, I've never seen it in like a nice, you know, perfect streak. I feel like this almost makes it more realistic, if you will. But I don't want it to spread out too much. I don't know, maybe we'll have to try a couple different ways. Take two. I'm gonna wipe this off just so we can see. We might come back to this technique with putting it in the base, but I just think it's feathering out too much. So what we'll try now is just the base coat. Nice and clear. And then I'm just curing that. You guys can't really see unless I pull it over, but I'm using this light now. I just didn't love how the Cure Sky one beeped every time I used it. It was a lot to cut out during editing and stuff like that. And honestly, it was really, really strong, which is great. But also I almost felt like sometimes my skin didn't really like it because of how strong it was. This one for me is like perfect to where it feels fine and it doesn't like make my skin feel any sort of way, if that makes sense. And then I'm actually just going to use this little piece of glass as a palette because the foil was making too much noise. There we go. Okay, so let's try this again. There we go, that's probably more of what they thought. The toothpick does work really well though. Very thin, easy to get detail on. And it seems like we're just supposed to do a lot of, you know, squiggles, lines, almost sort of like a pattern, but chaotic. The way that they drew the pattern almost sort of makes me think like veins. Maybe that's what they're going for, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do a couple thinner lines. That way not everything is like thick. And here we go. I actually think that looks really cool, so I'm gonna cure it. I'm gonna just do a little. There we go. So here's this one. I'm gonna maybe just go over some lines and see if we can deepen the color a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of dimension in this. Okay, I'm gonna cure one more time. And then I am going to just go ahead and top this while it's still nice shiny. I don't wanna mess it up or get it dirty in any sort of way since we are wanting to make sure that these stay super clear. The eyes that we're gonna put on after we do like the base design will definitely still stick on top of a top coat. So I'm not really worried about that. I just wanna make sure we seal it in. That way it stays nice, shiny, clear, you know. At the end, I'll probably put top coat on the back right now, but let's just focus on the regular design first, and then we can worry about that later. And I think it looks perfect. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, so we have to do the rest of these. So I'm just going to pop on that base coat 1 or 2 at a time. I don't trust myself anymore to do like all of it all at once, because knowing me, I'll get a dog hair in it or something. So 2 at a time it is. I'm just going to see how this works with a brush, just to see if we can speed up the process a little bit, because I feel like I have to fill up my toothpick a lot. I think this also works just like a really thin brush. Okay, and then I'm just going to darken up a couple of those lines. I'm just going to apply top coat to these 2 nails now. I'm honestly really eager to get to the eyes. I don't have a great plan of how I'm gonna do it, but I know that I'm excited. Okay, so this one's the one that's gonna have the eyes. So I'm gonna do this one a little bit more sparsely, because I don't want it to just look red when we do the eyes on top. Alrighty, now it's time to do our last 2 top coats, and then we can get on to all of the eyes. I think I'm gonna try to do acrylic first. I'm not sure though. I need to look through all of my stuff and see if I have any molds for it, because I might have a like circle mold or something like that that might make my life a lot easier, rather than trying to, you know, sculpt them all out of acrylic or polygel. You know, it would be really nice to just be able to do a mold of them, but we'll see. Put these top coats on, and then I'm gonna go see what all I have, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so good news, I found some molds. So I don't think I'm going to have to sculpt out like 20 or 30 little eyes. I mean, I don't know how many, probably at least like 15 in like perfect circles. So we have this one, and this one's a bit more of a diamond shape. Obviously there's like this little thing right here, I'll cut it off, but it could work for an eye, absolutely. We have a couple on here that could work. These could work for some like bigger ones, like for the thumb. And then we have these are more like slice looking ones. They don't necessarily look round. They're like flat, but they're still circular. Before we do anything, I think I'm gonna first try this with clear polygel, and then we can move on to acrylic and just sort of see what works. Let's play around with it and we'll see. So first thing we must do though, all right, we're gonna cut this little bit out here because we don't want it like that. Much better. I don't think there's much of a lip anymore. I'll try to get that out as much as I can, but we should be good. I sort of feel like it's a little hard to see these on the white background, so I'm just gonna change to this nice fun Halloween one while we make the eyes. Is that cool with you guys? I mean, hopefully it is. So let's start with this. I'm gonna start by putting a no wipe top coat first, and then I'm just gonna cure that with this flashlight very quickly. Then I'm gonna take some of this white gel. I really like this white gel I used the other day. I thought it was like perfectly white. Love it. So we're just gonna squeeze a tiny bit in here. We will color the eye, the iris, is that what it is? Iris, pupil, whatever, afterwards. I think that'll be much easier than to try to do it inside this. So just clean this up a little bit, you know, like so. Perfect. So I'm gonna cure that now. Ooh, look how cool the spider web looks. I did do this with polygel, but I could also just use a white gel polish also, and then just more top coat. We'll see what works. Then we'll also do the other side a bit. I saw the other day someone with like sculpting gel on TikTok, and I saved the video because I'm gonna go back to it and see what it was and order whatever it was, but I thought that was so cool. Like she literally sculpted, like I think it was like Hello Kitty or something out of it. So I need to find whatever that is, but unfortunately I just saw it a couple days ago, so I did not have enough time for this video to get it. Let's see. It's gonna pop out. It is. And here it is. That's actually not bad for like an eye. It is a little bit bigger than I probably would want, so let's try a couple other little things. I'll put this off to the side in my little, I don't know, eye collection that I'm starting. And we can try these right here. So I think for this, I'm just gonna do a nice, you know, top coat, bake it. And then for these ones, we'll just try some gel polish since it is a lot smaller. Then we will just fill in the rest with top coat. I almost wonder, like, what if I get a little bulge going on that? Do you know what I mean? Like a dollop, so it's like round at the top. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Cure before slides off. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that doesn't look as good. It definitely just looks like a slice. This one doesn't look so super good though. I mean, does it? Could that work as an eye? It could. Let's try some different stuff. Okay, I'm gonna pull out the acrylic. I got this little itty bitty brush to do some like more finer details in case we did need to do acrylic eyes. Digging through my stuff, I found some old long hair pretty nails acrylic white, and she sold acrylic. I always really liked her acrylics. So I'm gonna use it for this. Obviously we just need like little itty bitty bits amounts, like super small. Look at, like, it's just like a ball. I just want to kind of keep it like that. I wonder if I can just like, that might work. I'm gonna drop a little bit more monomer on it. You know what, that might work, but it's okay. It's sliding a little bit. You guys, am I gonna have to sculpt out all of these eyes? I think I might. I was about to say I didn't sign up for that. I did sign up for that though. This was my choice. I picked this one. Acrylic might be the best way to go for this. That looks round like an eye. Okay, figured out what we're gonna do. Let's start out by doing a big eye for the thumb, because that one does have a pretty big one there. We have this one sitting. This will be our big eye. And then I'm basically just using the silicone on this to make these so I can pop them on without having to like sculpt it on my nail, because I think that would make it so much harder. Let's get into it. I'm basically just going to do a bunch of little itty bitty dabs of acrylic on here. And I'm gonna do my best to just sort of keep them round-ish. I'm gonna sort of just let them sit for the most part. Obviously they are gonna set up a little. I'm gonna try to keep them on the drier side, but you know, we're gonna do what we can. I keep trying to do these tiny little beads, but I feel like they always just come out bigger than I want. There we go, it's a little better. They just come out so big so quickly. I just like want to keep spreading and I don't want them to. Each eye is gonna have a different height. Not all eyes are the same. Let's get this one out. I think that's perfect for a big eye. Has a little air bubble, but we can fix that. I'm working on trying to do the itty bitty ones. It's a lot harder than it seems though. I'm not sure how many of these I'll need. When I'm getting the acrylic, it's literally like, that one fell. And I'm not really touching it much after the monomer and the acrylic really are just sort of melting into itself. So I'm not really wanting to do much. I kind of want it to just dry. If it spreads out too much, I try to fix that, but otherwise, I'm hoping it just, you know, looks good on its own. I think if anything, I'd rather make way too many than not enough, because I think doing all of this at once will be easiest opposed to trying to make them, paint them, then make more. Just, you know, one step at a time, try to be a little bit more efficient than I normally am. Imagine that. Imagine that. I am so glad I ordered this tiny little brush. I was like, maybe I can just use one of my other ones. And I was like, you know, it's probably gonna be easier. It is so much easier with this small one. I could not imagine trying to do this with a big brush. Okay, I feel like we have a pretty good variety here. I think I'm gonna just do a couple more and then we'll start painting them. We'll do the big one on the thumb first. That way these can all dry properly. I wanna do a couple bigger ones, just to have some options. Okay, so I think I've made however many I need to for this one. Here we have these. I'm gonna let these just like fully dry over to the side. And let's pull back this big one. So here we have just our nice eye. I think I'm gonna just try to buff the top because it does have a couple little ridges because it's like diamond shaped. How do people who make like jewelry do it? Oh my gosh. Okay, here we have this. Let's paint it. I need to recheck really quick and see what color this one was. This one was a red eye. We need to make a little bit of a darker red for these. I know that this is a little bit brighter red than their drawing. However, I just felt like I wanted mine to be a little bit brighter red. But for the eyes, I don't want them to be the exact color, so I am going to tone this red down with the black a little bit. Just a nice little dollop there. Here we go again. We're just gonna mix. There we go, that's a better color. Oh, I wonder if I should go over on my nails. You know, I'll decide that in a bit. Or maybe I will. Oh, I probably should. Okay. I feel like something I do kind of like, when I do them over a couple days, I feel like it gives me time to like think and be like, oh, you know what, that's actually not the exact color I was going for. Or like, here's how I'm gonna do something. Or like, here's how I can improve what I already did. There we go, that's a little bit darker, which I think looks a little better. And then aside from that, I'm gonna grab out my black and white that I always use. Nice big drop there. So let's do this one now. This is gonna be the eye. So we're gonna go with red for the eye. Iris, I think that's what it's called. Also, I am so sorry if I'm not like super talkative or like super excited in this video. I don't know why. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate that Halloween is your like sort of favorite time of year. You know, fall, it's getting cooler, you can go do fun stuff, etc. And I feel like whenever September rolls around, I'm like super excited. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do all this different content and I'm gonna do all these different nails and I'm like so excited. And then when the time rolls around, it's just for some reason, a ton of things end up popping up. You know, like family things, other obligations. Like my original plan was to literally just spend like this month just doing a ton of nail designs for like TikTok and doing a bunch of videos and stuff like that, which I'm still gonna do my best, but then like personal family stuff has popped up. And then I feel like now I'm not gonna get to do quite as much as I'd hoped. And that happened literally last year. Like we got sick like the whole month of October. I literally had such ambitious goals for like this Halloween, you know, season that we decided we would hold off going on like a honeymoon this year. Because obviously we didn't get to go last year. But we did talk about doing it this year, but I was like, no, I want to focus on this stuff. Obviously, it's not like any of you asked me to do that. I chose to do it, but still, obviously, like I said, other stuff came up, so. Okay, we have our eye. I actually love it. I do want all the eyes shiny, but I'm gonna top coat them afterwards. I think I'm going to attach this with a little bit of acrylic. But yeah, anyway, my point is, I don't know, like I feel like that always happens. Does that happen to you guys? Like I literally was like, had so much I wanted to do and I like cleared out my entire schedule for a lot of this month so I could just like focus on doing designs and stuff, because that's what I wanted to do. I want to like, you know, celebrate the whole month and have fun and just like be able to be creative during this month. Like I said, I'm still gonna try my best, but like just so much has happened. It's got a little acrylic bead there. Now we're gonna just, I actually love this. Look at how good that looks. I love the eye. It actually looks really good. I'm gonna let this dry on here and top coat it when I feel like the acrylic's dry, but now we must paint all of these. So some of the eyes are black and some of them are red and some of them are more red than others. Like the ones on the middle finger are all like a bright red and then the other ones are more of a deep red and black. So I'm gonna grab some more of just this since we have some red eyes. I actually didn't notice that at first, but I'm glad that I checked. Let's get started. Oh, anyway, I get off track so easily. My point of telling you all of that was, I'm sorry if I'm not as talkative or commentative. I just have a lot going on right now and I'm very stressed out. To be honest, I'm really stressed out. Like if I'm stressed out, I usually don't talk that much. I feel like we've done good for this red, so I'm gonna cure all of these on the red. Then we'll go back in with the black for the pupil color. They really do look like eyes. It's probably super easy to make anything look like an eye though. Did a hair seriously get cured into this one? It did. That sucks. Let's do a little bit of white now. While that's curing, I'm going to swipe through some of these nails with a little bit more of this darker color. And then I'm also going to attach these with teeny tiny bits of acrylic. Grab this biggest one right here and smush that on in. Perfect. Something like right here for these two. These are looking pretty similar to the drawing, if I do say so myself. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm liking them a lot so far. So now I'm gonna wait for those to cure, but while we do that, I'm just going to cover this with a top coat. I'm gonna do the whole thing in top coat, including the eye. Eyes are glossy, and I just feel like it would look best that way. Also, it says glossy, so. Also, I feel like this will also hold on the eye more, although acrylic, I mean, you put something on with acrylic, most of the time you're pretty set, but now I'll just put this all over the eye. Okay, so for these last ones, I'm basically just going to do some of the dark red on these, and then others I'm going to do just black. I'm gonna speed through this because otherwise we will literally be here all day. None of you guys want to watch me paint these little itty bitty things in real time.
Wow.
I'm painting little eyes.
That's cute as f. Shut up. Let me see. Oh, dude, those are sick.
So we have our last nail to do. I'm still going to attach all these little itty bitty ones with acrylic just because I feel like it does that really well, and then there's no lip on them and so they're not going to catch in my hair and stuff, which always a bonus. I paid a lot for these extensions. I would like them to not be ripped out of my head by my own fingers. I want to sort of line up to the best of my ability, like the same colors and stuff. I don't think I'll be able to fully do that, but I'm gonna try. Okay, we're gonna put a nice, ooh, here we go. And then we're gonna have a little bit of a bigger red one. Whites in the same, at least on the same side. Honestly, these are turning out so much better than I was expecting. I mean, I thought they would turn out okay, but I feel like the eyes really are just something, you know? Like they're really just something. I really like it. I didn't use nearly as many of these little tiny ones as I thought I was gonna, so I'm just gonna try to fill in a couple small little gaps. Okay, now we just wait for this to dry and then we'll put the top coat. Here we are top coating everything. Nice, nice, excellent. And here are their nails. We're not actually done yet. I'm gonna be honest, right? I was just like zoomed in and I honestly forgot about the ring. So let's make the ring. That was part of what I loved about the design. It's like it also had the ring. I can't believe I almost forgot. I'm gonna use this gross gel bottle. I was gonna use it earlier, but it was all dried up because I've had it for like 2 years. Who knew? But I'm gonna use this. Then I'm gonna use just a random nude color for the poly gel for this because we're gonna need to paint it black. I don't have any black poly gel, I don't think. Ooh, she thick. So when I actually did my whole nail art jewelry video, I did talk about contact dermatitis with this, you know, having applies a form of resin, etc. on your skin. And a lot of you said that as long as you're not curing it on your skin or you're having it uncured on your skin, you should be fine. Obviously, everyone's different. Everyone's gonna have different reactions and sensitivities to that kind of stuff. But that was more of what I figured. Like I felt like if it was cured, top coated, you know, you're fine. So mainly it's just you want to really make sure that you are not getting uncured stuff on your skin or curing it while it's on your skin. I am just really quickly making another couple eyes because like I said, I did not think this far ahead about needing these ones. We will wipe with alcohol so it's not gross. Probably still will be a little though. Let's see if we can just pop. Ooh, I just broke my nail trying to get that off. That's great. That's great. Okay, so you win some, you lose some. I don't think this material is right. It really stick to the polygel and it basically would not come off. So I did one on a different surface. So hopefully this one comes off much easier. Just gonna wipe as much of the stickiness off as I can with some alcohol. Oh, much better. There we go, comes off. A little bit of polygel. We're gonna cure that again so that it cures on the inside. Okay, much better, came off super easy. Let's see if it fits. It kinda does, a little snug. That's okay. So now let's just smooth this out a bit, buff it, make it a little nicer. We'll paint it. Okay, it looks pretty nice actually. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna wipe it down and then I'm just going to paint it with black gel. Why did I say it like that? Gel? Gel? Don't come for me, guys. I know that I need to get more dust-free wipes. It's just like once I leave this desk, it leaves my mind. Hoping since it's a nude, the black should cover in like 2 coats. I'm gonna just cure this one last long cure and I'm gonna slightly just like spin it to make sure that all sides get it. I feel like I'm like roasting a chicken, even though I'm a vegetarian. I am just going to top coat what is here right now. Obviously I have some gaps to fill in, but it's just so much easier if it's not sticky. I know that the eye on the ring, the big one, is like a darker red, but I don't feel like mixing up more of that, so it's just going to be regular red. All right, we're just going to put our final touches on the ring, which will be the eyes, of course. Yay, ring all done. So I love the eyes way more than I thought I would. Like, I like the design, obviously I chose it, but I like them so much. I'm gonna do the after shots with this design exactly as it was done, but I may go back in a day or two and do some more eyes just along the rest, just because I like how creepy it looks. It's just like mildly disturbing and I'm really into it. Now that this is all done, of course I will do proper before and afters at the end. I'm going to reset my space and we will get on to design number 2. This next one that I am going to do is from Electric Lacquer, and I love this design for so many different reasons. I love that there was a different design on each nail, but it was still all cohesive, and a lot of it is actually in glitter, and I wanted to see all of the glitter against the matte parts of the nail. Also, I appreciate this person so much and how much they support me. David often reads my comments and he even notices how much she comments. She uses her husband's account and always clarifies that it's Daniel's wife, and I think it's so funny because I recognize the account, but she always clarifies. So let's get into this set. Okay, so I just went ahead and put my tips on and everything like that because I am using the same tips with the same method. The only thing I did different was that I used my base color in my Extend Gel to adhere the tips on because I really like this nude and it says use your favorite nude, and I like this one. So I figured I'd just put the color underneath, that way we can decorate the tips and not have it be too bulky. So I've obviously flipped the picture right here because it's on this hand now. I want to start with the pointer finger, I think. First and foremost, we're going to need white. I'm gonna have a really extensive palette here, probably towards the end. So we just are gonna basically do a French tip. Yes, I think I'm gonna put a matte top coat on before I do anything. That way it's easier to draw on, and that way any of the glitter will not stick to our base color or the tip that we don't want to. So most of the accent designs are in glitter, which I think is so fun. So I think the tip is just plain white, but then the drips are in glitter. And the only issue with this nail, ready? You see it? Look at that hair. That's inside the nail. So that sucks. We're just gonna have to deal with that there. Doesn't that suck though? I didn't realize until after it had cured. Tragic. Okay, so I got that. I'm gonna just paint on the rest. And then what I've been doing, especially lately, to make sure that the edges are clean is just wiping it off underneath like that. I tried to keep my nails like as skinny as possible. We want them to be sharp, not look like bulky. And then I'm actually going to apply one more matte top coat over this because we're gonna do our drips glitter, and we are going to have glitter on top, so it's going to be textured, and I don't want it to stick to any of the white, so we need to make sure we seal that down. Alrighty, ready to go. I'm a little nervous. Gonna take the same red we used earlier. I did not think ahead because this is my opposite hand and I chose to draw. Uh-oh, I already messed up. Okay, so I've gotten the little ridge down. Now let's do the drips. For this, I'm gonna basically just do a little bit of a bigger glob and then trail it upwards. Why am I struggling so much today? You know what, I'll tell you why. It's like 1 a.m., that's why. Those drips look pretty good. The problem is we can't cure it as we go because we need to put glitter in it. So that makes it extra hard because it's basically like you have one shot. That actually looks really nice. So what we do now is I have this glitter. This is one of the McCart glitters. I'm gonna be very careful because we are not someone who prepares beforehand and opens the glitter. Because I don't want big chunks in it. That's a little bit brighter than I would like, but that's okay. It's a lot finer, which is what I want. I also had this one, but I think that's too dark. I think it's probably better to go with the lighter color. I just want to do this lightly because I don't want it to move any of the gel. I'm just gonna cure that now. Hopefully it looks good. I haven't done this method in like a really long time. Okay, moment of truth. And I actually think it looks really good. I don't know how I'll feel about the texture of the glitter, but it doesn't feel too bad. I also, you know, don't know how much of the glitter will fall off or anything like that, but nonetheless, I actually think it looks really good and actually looks really clean, I feel like, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to look like a mess, but I actually think it turned out really good. And don't worry guys, I'm shoveling the rest of this in here. I know I can do it with a piece of paper too, I know. I think the next one I'm gonna do is this really cool patchwork one. So once again, I'm gonna start out with a matte top coat. I will do that basically for all of them to start with. Okay, so we're gonna have this purple. I'm gonna start with the smile line. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with that. Okay, we need to get our green out. Problem is we have to mix the green because I wasn't able to find like this green. It's a bright green, but not neon. And so I think I have this green, right? And so I'm gonna mix a little bit of this green, obviously way brighter. Like, I just think it needs like to be livened up a little bit, you know? I do have really bright green glitter that I'm gonna put over, so I just wanted to lighten this one up a little bit. I didn't want to make it like really neon. Then I should actually be outlining where I'm gonna put this with the green, not with the purple. I'll put the purple around it. I'm just mapping it out, so I'm just really wanting to see where to not put purple, essentially. Okay, here is like a lighter sketch. I think I'm gonna have to do a double layer of the purple, but it looks really good so far. So I've gone ahead and put the purple on, a matte top coat, and then put the green. So I have a really bright green that we're gonna put over, which I think will look really good. And then I'm hoping that the stitches will just look okay afterwards, you know? Okay, I'm gonna cure this now. Wow, that actually looks great. I'm so impressed with how this looks. Okay, cool. So now we have to do the stitches. That's the only thing I'm concerned about so far because I think I need to do it over this green and I'm not sure how that's gonna go. Hopefully good because I really only have one chance. I can't redo that. I can't really scrape much off of this. Like, okay, I'm honestly really scared to do this, but okay, let's grab some black. Okay, so I managed to do that. I'm honestly really scared to do these glitter ones now. Okay, I don't want to ruin them. I don't think I can wipe them off much once I do them, so I'm just gonna be really careful. I apologize if I'm not in frame that well with these. Fine, and sometimes trying to show the camera makes me mess up because I need it like 2 inches away from my face. I truly cannot believe how long I've spent on this nail. You guys, it's like almost 3 a.m. now. I've been on this one nail for like an hour. Honestly, the videos that definitely take me the longest though are the subscribers draw my nails videos. Like, I think, because I want to make sure that they're like perfect. So I end up spending like an hour per nail pretty much. Okay, there we go. That looks nice. And then off camera, because I've already spent way too long on this nail and it's already tedious and it's not really anything, I am going to just very sparingly go over with a top coat on the black, just super thin, because in my experience I've noticed that almost all blacks, this one's pretty good, but even if you wipe them with like alcohol, sometimes they can bleed a little bit and I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna do that and then we will get on, I think, to the bat nail. Okay, so we're gonna need some bats. So I'm gonna grab these little cute hollow okay, so I'm gonna just grab some bats out of this. We're gonna use this one. I always think this one's so funny because it's an orange, right? It says yellow though. It's not yellow. This is not yellow. And same deal, French tip. Okay, so I have one layer on. I'm gonna do a second. trying to speed it up a little bit, although I think I did choose the 2 most time-consuming nails first. Also, it was absolutely poor planning on my part to do this set on this hand, knowing I'm gonna have to freehand everything with my left hand, aka my opposite hand. So that's really on me. I bent this one a bit so it's a little bit more flush. I'm gonna try to do that the other ones. And I am just sticking them in directly to the gel. And then I'm just going to pour the glitter over top of this and then cure it. I'm hoping that works. I'm gonna use this little glitter and we're gonna cure it for a while, at least 60 seconds to make sure it goes through the glitter and everything. And then I'm only doing a top coat over the bats just because they are big and chunky. I don't want them to fall off. Even though I take off my sets, you know, fairly quickly, I don't like for them to mess up in the times that I do have them on, so I do put them on in terms of like longevity every single time. So for this one, it looks like we have a spiderweb design. Okay, here's our second layer. Then for this one, we're gonna do another matte top coat, and then we're gonna do our spiderweb design on top of that in purple with purple glitter. It is so late. I almost gave up on this design. I was like, I'll finish it tomorrow, but I feel like I'm so close. And I feel like I'm like hitting a groove to where I'm like not having a ton of issues with the designs. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon, considering this is spiderweb design. I can't say I've ever done a good spiderweb design, but maybe today's the day. Of course, we outline the smile line as always. So I was worried at first that this design was going to be, you know, a little too, not basic, because it's a lot goes into each nail, but I got a lot of designs where a lot of things were sculpted, and I was worried that you guys wouldn't really like if it was sculpted, but I decided on this one also from the reasons I said earlier, but also partially because it's sort of had an element of a lot of the designs that I got, you know, like the drips and then the spider web, the patchwork, the bats, and the candy corn. Oh my gosh, were there a lot of candy corn designs? I was really surprised. Do you guys like candy corn? I personally do not like candy corn, but to be fair, I'm not really like a candy person in general. Okay, so anyway, my point was this design had a lot of elements, a lot of them did, so hopefully it checks off a lot of the elements that a lot of you guys wanted to see. I haven't tried a lot of these designs. I feel like what happens a lot, or what had happened a lot, was, especially before my skills got a little better, is I would try a design and I didn't do good on it, and then I would like never try again because I was just like, oh, I'm just not good at it, if that makes sense. Even though, like, you know, oftentimes you try something and maybe not good the first time, but it's probably good with practice. So I'm gonna pour some of this dark purple glitter on it. I really like this dark purple. It's so pretty. Hopefully that all still looks nice when we cure it and brush the glitter off. Okay, let's see the reveal. Okay, some of the details get lost, like when you put glitter on, unless it's like finer than this sort of glitter, like almost sort of pigment, I guess, or I guess you could do acrylic powder, but I wanted to do, you know, like glitter. I want it to like sparkle like this. I guess, like, I think just the weight of it all smushes it out a little bit, so you lose a little bit of those details towards like the top right here, but I still think it looks really good. And last but not least, the candy corn nail. All right, we've added a new fighter to our already cluttered palette, this yellow. I'm doing 2 coats of each color, and then I'm going to be putting the glitter on the second coat. I know that this yellow isn't like quite as bright as the picture, but I have some like pretty yellow bright glitter for it, so I think that will make up for it. Wow, I completely missed that first. Okay, we are in the home stretch. We got this little bit of orange to do. We'll put the white on and we'll be done. Can you believe it? And then for the white, I'm going to use this one from Ellen Nailed It. All of these glitters have sort of like a iridescent reflect in them, so I thought I'd keep with that theme for the white. Oh my god, that is packed full. Oh. I should not be trusted with that. Who gave me a... Who gives me a full thing of glitter like that? That's irresponsible. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're done. Oh my gosh. I'm honestly a little scared that I'm gonna mess these up. So I'm gonna make sure to get some good shots like tonight. I'm a little scared that I'm gonna like mess this up or like scrape off the glitter, even though that really shouldn't happen. Like the glitter shouldn't just scrape off. But wow, they look so good. Okay, wow. Okay, so here they are. Let's do some proper close-ups, comparisons, and final shots. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a like if you like these videos. It helps me in a few ways, but also to let me know which videos to do more of and which series to continue. Once again, thank you to everyone who submitted a design. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye! So a quick update on these. I've worn these for about 5 days now, and most of the glitter is still on. I would say that a little bit of the glitter falls off, but it's not completely. And some came off more than others, but for the most part, the glitter is still on. The texture hasn't really bothered me too much, except dog hair and fuzz and stuff does get stuck in it. But other than that, no issues.